welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, or what you may not know about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at one of the most beloved New Who Doctor Who stories. In fact, to some it's probably one of the best. This is Blink. I hope you enjoy. The episode is based on a previous short story written by Moffat for the 2006 Doctor Who Annual, entitled What I Did on My Christmas Holidays by Sally Sparrow, which was set as the 9th Doctor story. As a result, the Doctor and Martha being featured so little in this story, it meant that David Tennant and Freema Agyeman could do filming for the 3-part finale. The episode was a huge success, no surprises there, winning the Hugo Awards in 2008, as well as ranking the second best in Doctor Who's magazine Best Doctor Who Stories. Banto's DVDs were fake titles created for the episode, complete with DVD covers and poster designs. This is the first episode to be directed by a woman after a 22-year interval. The previous one was The Mark of the Rani. For reasons unknown, while the original BBC One broadcast and subsequent Region 2 DVD releases of the episode include a 1 year later on-screen graphic prior to the epilogue scene, broadcasts of the episode in North America as well as Region 1 DVD releases omit this. Billy can be seen in the police station with a patch on his jacket depicting a sparrow, a possible joke on the main character's last name. The concept of the Doctor's first encounter with someone also being the person's final encounter with him would inspire the character and stories revolving around River Song. The original title for this story was Sally Sparrow and the Weeping Angels. The title was changed after Russell T Davies hated the title, with Moffat offering the title Blink as an alternative, with Russell T Davies loving the new title, describing it as like a cheesy 50s trailer. Rather than being inanimate props, the angels were portrayed by real actresses covered in makeup and prosthetics, but standing completely still is a great challenge even for the most accomplished of actors. Special effects were used to freeze them in place so that if they did involuntarily move, it wouldn't be noticed. Steven Moffat originally had a different and much darker ending in mind for this episode. It would have seen Sally give the Doctor the folder and then step back inside the store to find an angel inside. Larry then steps in and notices that Sally is not there. He then looks more closely at the painting on the wall and realises the person smiling and waving in it is Sally, having been sent into the past by the angel. After reflecting on the episode for its 10th anniversary, Moffat stated that it makes me wonder why an angel never sent her back in time. All these years later, I wonder why I didn't end it like that. Billy Shipton's comments that the police box isn't a real one as the phone's just a dummy and our windows are the wrong size is a reference to the fact that TARDIS props over the years have been scaled down versions of the real thing. One humorous deleted scene would have formed part of the pre-credits teaser. After Sally discovered the message behind the wallpaper, Steven Moffat had requested the sound of cliched horror movie music. This would have turned out to be Sally's mobile phone ringtone, and it would actually be Kathy calling her friend from the pub. Steven Moffat claimed that the Weeping Angels were inspired by the children's game Statues, which he found frightening. Carey Mulligan was offered the chance to stay on as a companion, but she declined. To create the rigid structure of the angels' dresses, prosthetic supervisor Rob Mayer soaked fabric in fiberglass resin, which was then painted over. To create the effect of the angels rocking the TARDIS, Carey Mulligan and Findlay Robertson threw themselves around the ship's set. The camera's operators then shook the camera in the opposite direction that Mulligan and Robertson threw themselves. At one point, Sally would have been pregnant at the end of the episode, but Steven Moffat decided it would have been more effective to delay Sally and Larry's romance until after her meeting with the Doctor. Steven Moffat had held the idea of the Weeping Angels since seeing an angel statue in a graveyard while on a family holiday. The first draft of the script is very close to the finished episode, with the exception of the ending. Instead of taking off by itself, the TARDIS brings Sally and Larry to 1969, where they meet the Doctor and Martha. After returning them to the present, the Doctor reveals that he learned everything from a book called Sally Sparrow and the Weeping Angels. He asks Sally to sign it, and she sees that the author's name is Sally Nightingale. Also, Kathy was originally named Jenny. A scene cut from the epilogue had Larry revealing that he regularly checks to ensure that the Weeping Angels are still petrified. David Tennant lost his voice while filming for this episode. And finally, due to the show's tight schedule, Blink only had one script meeting. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Blink is certainly one of the best Steven Moffat written stories out there by a long shot. The Weeping Angels are such creepy and such effective enemies. But unfortunately for me, Blink is one of those episodes that have been kind of downtrodden thanks to future episodes. You see, Steven Moffat sort of overdid it with the Weeping Angels in my opinion. they would have been better if they were just a one-off villain, if I'm perfectly honest, because this story is so effective. It's got this horror vibe to it, which is so brilliant. You know, I knew a lot of people, a lot of kids who used to be really frightened of looking at statues or even blinking near statues, you know, because it was that effective. It is a creepy story. It's a dark story. It's a wonderful story. And I do love the idea that the Weeping Angels, they kill people not necessarily through violent means, but through so-called kindness. They just send them back in time. And, you know, all these ideas, you know, such as Kathy being sent back and her grandson is the person who delivers a letter to Sally. That's such a great moment. I think this has a lot of great ideas and a lot of great potential. Oh, well, it's used up its potential, I'd argue. And it's just a shame that future Weeping Angel stories just completely kind of ruined the Weeping Angels, in my opinion. They were effective when they're scary, when they're just there as like this inanimate object just in the background, lurking, just watching over, and the slow build-up of the attention. Like, it is a shame they overdid it with the Weeping Angels, if I'm perfectly honest, but Blink is still a fantastic episode, and it's truly one of the best from this series, series 3, I should say, of the New Who. I do think that future episodes do kind of bring this episode down a bit, but I shouldn't really hold it accountable because of that. Still, fantastic episode, fantastic enemies. I love the Weeping Angels. They still are some of the best enemies in Doctor Who, in my opinion. And so forth, just great, you know, and I love the lack of Doctor and Companion in this. I love that you're seeing normal people having to deal with the Weeping Angels, which is kind of like concerning to say the very least. But yeah, fantastic overall. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.